Oh man, that's what I'm finna do. I'm finna get out. I ain't really trying to argue at all. I'm just trying to get my...
Nah, you want to go tell your family about this and about that. You want to do this.
I'm trying to leave from over here in peace, man. I ain't trying to argue at all.
Ain't nobody. Let me take my car key off.
Them my keys.
Stop.
On the morning of March 25, 2023, a frantic 911 call came in from Lowndes County, Mississippi, reporting something no one ever expects to hear. A murder was unfolding live on Facebook. When officers arrived at the small apartment complex, the scene was already tragic beyond words. Inside, they found 28-year-old Jeremy Brown, a loving husband and father of 4, lying lifeless. Moments earlier, hundreds of people had watched his final moments stream across social media. The live video captured a heated domestic argument spiraling out of control. His wife, 28-year-old Kadia Brown, enraged after making a disturbing discovery, was seen shouting into her phone as her mother's voice echoed in the background, fueling the tension.
I want to question everybody's loyalty, but where is his loyalty at? But he want to talk about me when I am not doing. He want to talk about me when I'm not doing. Talk about unnecessary. Then he talking about calling the police. Talk about I'm gonna get my stuff. But you got 4 kids and a wife. It's 7:36. He can't even be. He can't even come here and cook for these kids. He can't even come here and cook for the kids. You got to be at work at 8 o'clock. Nah, matter of fact, he got to be at work at 9. Okay.
Jeremy tried to calm things down, to walk away before things went too far. But the shouting grew louder, emotions boiled over, and then the screen suddenly went dark. At first, it seemed like a moment of uncontrollable rage, a domestic fight that turned deadly. But as detectives began to piece together what really happened that morning, they uncovered a web of secrets and motives that suggested this tragedy may have been far more deliberate than anyone thought. This is the story of life and death of Jeremy Brown. Jeremy Brown was born on October 18, 1994, in the heart of Mississippi. He grew up surrounded by the values that define the South: hard work, humility, and loyalty to family. His childhood home was always alive with noise, siblings, cousins, and neighborhood. Jeremy was the second of 4 children, raised by a mother who worked 2 jobs and a father who somehow still found time to coach Little League and fix the neighbor's car when it broke down. Family came before everything else. Even as a kid, Jeremy carried a quiet confidence that made people notice him. He had this calm, grounding energy, the kind that made you feel safe just being around him. He was soft-spoken, never one to compete for attention, but when he did speak, people stopped and listened. Teachers respected him, coaches trusted him, and even the older kids in the neighborhood looked up to him. His younger siblings called him the rock of the family, the one who held things together when life got hard. By the time he reached his teenage years, Jeremy had earned a reputation as the good kid. He was the type to walk a friend home after dark, give up his seat at church for an elder, or mow a neighbor's yard just because it needed doing. Compassion seemed to pour out of him effortlessly. His friends used to joke that Jeremy had an old soul, wise beyond his years, and it was true. He seemed to understand life's deeper lessons early on: patience, forgiveness, and loyalty. Jeremy wasn't the loud or popular type at Jefferson High, but people gravitated toward him anyway. He was kind, dependable, and always ready to lend a hand. After graduation, he worked long hours as a delivery driver and on construction sites, quietly helping his family and saving for a better future. That's when he met Kadia Michelle Brown, known as Kadia, bold, outspoken, and full of energy. She was everything he wasn't, yet their connection was instant. His calm steadiness balanced her fire, and her spark pulled him out of his quiet routine. To everyone else, they seemed like opposites who somehow just fit. Their relationship moved fast. Within a year, they were living together, and Jeremy was completely devoted. He treated Kadia like royalty, making sure she had what she needed and often calling her his queen. Friends remember how deeply loyal he was: patient, attentive, and always trying to make things work. When disagreements happened, Jeremy was the one who backed down, took a breath, and tried to restore peace. He didn't believe in shouting matches. He believed in solutions. When their children came, everything changed. Jeremy became the kind of father most people dream of having. Together, they had 4 kids and he poured his whole heart into them. He woke up early to make breakfast, helped with homework after long shifts, and never missed a school event if he could help it. Even on the days when he came home exhausted, he still found energy to laugh, play, and listen. If you're finding these stories meaningful or informative, please consider subscribing to our channel. It really helps us keep bringing you more content like this. He posted everything on social media: family dinners, birthdays, dance recitals, Sunday cookouts in the yard. He often called his children his purpose. He hugged freely, admitted when he was wrong, and made sure his kids knew they were loved every single day. But behind those smiling photos, cracks had started to form. The relationship between Jeremy and Kadia wasn't perfect, and over time, those small cracks became deep fractures. Friends and family noticed the arguments were becoming more frequent, more intense. Still, Jeremy remained patient, maybe too patient. He always tried to keep the peace, to hold the family together, even when it was clear that the weight of it all was slowly wearing him down. Jeremy believed in family, in forgiveness, and in second chances, even when it cost him his own peace. Those close to him often said he had a heart too patient for his own good. But patience can become a prison when love turns toxic. Behind the smiles and family photos, there were whispers, control issues, outside interference, and growing tension inside the Brown household. Jeremy carried it all quietly, the way he always did. Friends noticed how the light in his eyes had dimmed, how his shoulders seemed to sag just a little more each week. The couple's arguments had become a familiar pattern: loud, messy, and uncomfortable. But Jeremy always tried to defuse the situation. He'd walk away, visit his extended family, anything to find a few hours of peace. Yet no matter how bad things got, he never gave up. He held on, maybe out of love, maybe out of hope, believing that one day things would get better. But the truth was, the storm was only getting closer. It started, as it often did, with a fight. But this time it wouldn't end the same way. On the morning of March 25, 2023, inside the modest apartment at Greentree Apartments in Lowndes County, Mississippi, the tension that had been building for years finally exploded. Jeremy Brown and his longtime girlfriend, Kadia Michelle Brown, had been arguing all day. What began as something small, a misunderstanding, a comment, a glance, quickly escalated into something dangerous. Neighbors later said they could hear the shouting through the walls. The couple's 4 young children were inside as the chaos unfolded. Jeremy tried to cool things down, urging Kadia to stop, to think, to let him leave for a while. But she wouldn't. Her anger only grew louder, more erratic. Her mother, who was reportedly on the phone during the argument, could be heard egging her on. In the hours before the shooting, Kadia had taken her rage public. On social media, she accused Jeremy of cheating, posting taunts, screenshots, and bitter captions. She claimed he was unfaithful with women at work. But investigators would later say there was no evidence to back those claims. What there was, however, was a dangerous mix of pride, paranoia, and public humiliation brewing online, and it was about to reach its breaking point. Then came the moment no one could take back.
To go be with his mama. Instead of trying to...
Why is there got to be a question about do I need to cook for the kids? Why is there a question?
And he don't never have to question. He don't want to question everybody's loyalty. But where is his loyalty at?
I ain't still no damn loyalty. I'm talking about.
But he want to talk about me when I am not doing. He want to talk about me when I'm not doing.
You want to talk about unnecessary?
Talk about unnecessary. Then he talking about calling the police. Talk about I'm gonna get my stuff. But you got 4 kids and a wife. It's 7:36. He can't even be.
He can't even come here and cook for these kids.
He can't even come here to cook for the kids.
He
It's,
got to be at work at 8 o'clock.
nah, matter of fact, he got to be at work at 9.
Okay, well he still got time to cook for these kids.
And then he got to go pick up his buddy from his job, Law.
Well, he need to tell Long he need to get his mama car and go to work.
He pick up his buddy Law, take him to work back and
Like
forth
I said,
every day.
I ain't got nothing to
But
give
then-
nobody, helping nobody, but if Long
But he
ain't
can't
getting
put gas in both
That's
cars.
what I'm saying. If Long ain't getting him no gas money to go to work, talking about people got stuff. Okay, he wanna put it like that. Oh, I got stuff to do too. I'm over here. I got stuff to do too. I'm over here. I'm over here cooking breakfast.
Get out
Like
and
I
move.
said,
Don't.
this-
Yeah, what you on the phone with?
Uncle, bro. Boom. I'm talking about uncle. Chill out. Man. trying to get
I'm doing.
No, you ain't trying to get ready for work. Look at him. This is sad case, y'all. He getting his stuff. Look at that. Sad case. As a father.
Okay, Jeremy, what is the conversation you want to have?
We good.
Yeah. And your baby in the room.
Conversation you want to have?
We good. If I'm, give me my phone, bro. Don't snatch
What is the conversation you want to have?
What the conversation?
Get out my
He
phone.
said, what's the
Don't touch
conversation?
me. Don't touch me. I'll call the police over here. Do not touch me.
He said, what's the conversation y'all want to have?
Get on me.
What's the conversation you want to have?
Oh, I'm finna send Dad over here. She touched me. Please. Get on
Ain't
me.
nobody touch you.
I'm gonna send my cousin over here. Do not touch me,
Don't
bro.
call nobody over here.
Oh,
What
baby.
is the
Tell your daughter to keep her hands on
What
me.
is the
Tell your
conversation?
daughter to keep her hands on me.
You the one slap me. You the one slap me. Hit me now. Hit me now.
Keep your hands on me.
Uh-huh.
What's up, man?
I'm still asking what is the conversation.
Oh man, that's what I'm finna do. I'm finna get out. I ain't really trying to argue at all. I'm just trying to get my.
No, you want to go tell your family about this and about that. You want to do this.
I'm trying to leave from over here and pee, man. I ain't trying to argue at all.
Ain't
I'm
nobody.
going to take my car key off.
Them my keys.
Stop. What is the conversation?
We good.
No, what's the conversation?
Got my phone, bro.
What's the conversation?
Keep your hands on.
What's the conversation?
Keep your hands on. Don't touch me, bro.
What's the conversation?
Move, bro. I'm trying to get ready for work, man. Go
How you
on.
getting ready for work?
What is going on? That's all
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm over here doing. Talking about I don't do nothing for the kids. I don't do nothing. I do what I can when I can.
understand.
But like I said, don't keep putting me in situations that's not my problem. And then, like I said, this is your family. You supposed to be here helping take care of
he
these
ain't straight.
kids.
He want
No,
to
you're not good because you're not here taking care of these kids.
He want to go call everybody.
Keep your hands on me,
Stop,
bro. Don't touch me again.
Touch you.
Jason, send that over here. We'll make it easy. Send that over here. I'm finna do it just like that. Send that over here.
Ain't nobody finna come over here and do
Send that over
nothing.
here. Get your hands on me, bro. Stop touching me. Move.
Jesus, stop.
Send that over here, Jason.
Ain't nobody coming over here.
Oh, me, bro. Sit down. Get your fucking hands on me, bro. Stop touching me, bro.
Stop.
Stop touching me.
I'm gonna
Stop.
kill you.
Murder scene,
Don't
murder.
touch me again.
Stop.
Let go.
Ain't-
Touch me. Touch me again. Touch me a motherfucking again.
Stop. Wait a
Touch me
minute.
again.
Ain't nobody finna do
Don't go
nothing.
putting a gun on
Ain't
me.
nobody finna do nothing.
Open this house, buddy.
Stop.
Don't worry
Ain't
about
nobody.
it.
Stop.
Don't worry about it. Touch me
Stop.
again. Touch me again.
Stop.
Yeah.
Touch me again.
Yeah. Stop. Yeah.
Stop. Stop. I'm not open here for this.
Keep her
I
hands
kill
on me,
your
bro.
ass now. Stop. Nobody, I can get out my bed for this.
My shoes on me.
Oh, you ain't getting nothing. Everything in the top belong to me.
Get somewhere and sit down. Y'all gonna have to stop all this. 'Cause then y'all wonder why the
Kadia went live on Facebook. It wasn't the first time she had done it. Friends said she often live streamed their arguments or emotional outbursts. But that night, something felt different. The anger in her voice, the look in her eyes, the way Jeremy sounded in the background, calm but tired, like a man who knew where this might lead. Dozens of people tuned in expecting drama, a verbal back and forth like before. What they didn't know was that they were watching the prelude to tragedy. In the video, Jeremy can be heard saying softly that he doesn't want to argue. His voice is calm, measured. He says he's just going to leave. You can hear the sound of him gathering his things, keys, phone, wallet, and then Kadia's voice, sharp and relentless, accusing him of walking out, of cheating, of not caring. Jeremy's voice cracks slightly as he insists again, "I'm not doing this." Then off camera, a sudden bang. And just like that, the screen goes black. For a moment, the live stream chat went silent. Then panic took over. Viewers flooded the comments with confusion and horror. Some begged her to answer. Others called 911, praying it was some kind of mistake, a prop, a trick. But deep down, everyone watching knew it wasn't. At 7:42 a.m., the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department responded to multiple emergency calls about a possible shooting at the Greentree Apartments. When deputies entered the unit, chaos met them at the door. Children were crying. Family members were screaming. And on the living room floor lay 28-year-old Jeremy Brown, motionless. He had been shot once in the back. The single bullet had torn through vital organs. There was nothing paramedics could do. A 9mm handgun recovered at the scene. Kadia was still inside, visibly shaken, crying but not resisting. She was immediately detained. Investigators quickly determined that Jeremy had been unarmed, his hands empty when the gun went off. There were no signs of struggle, no evidence of self-defense. Jeremy hadn't been threatening her. He'd been trying to leave. At the station, Kadia admitted to firing the weapon but offered an explanation that didn't fit the facts. Detectives noted inconsistencies, gaps in her story, and emotional detachment. Sheriff Eddie Hawkins later called it a senseless, tragic act, one that never should have happened. Within hours, 28-year-old Kadia Michelle Brown was charged with murder and booked into the Lowndes County Adult Detention Center, held without bond. The sheriff's office released a public statement the next day confirming that the shooting stemmed from a domestic dispute, one that had been broadcast for the world to see. Jeremy Brown's life had ended not in silence, but in the echo of a live stream watched by strangers. A man who once believed in love, forgiveness, and family had fallen victim to the very things he fought so hard to protect. And for those who knew him best, the question would haunt them forever: could anyone have stopped what was coming? The courtroom was cold that morning, the kind of cold that sinks into your bones. When Kadia Michelle Brown entered for her first appearance before a Lowndes County judge, the room seemed to hold its breath. She wore a standard-issue jail jumpsuit, her wrists bound, her expression hollow. The defiance that once burned through her social media posts was gone. The voice that shouted across Facebook Live had gone quiet. In its place stood a woman stripped of control, facing the weight of consequence and the echo of her own choices. Kadia faced a charge of first-degree murder, the deliberate, intentional taking of a life. The prosecution's words hung heavy in the air, echoing through the still courtroom. Her defense team tried to paint a softer picture, hinting at emotional strain, years of volatile arguments, and the pressure of mental collapse. They claimed she had been overwhelmed, panicked, that she hadn't meant for any of it to happen. But the prosecution didn't waver. They reminded the court and everyone watching that emotional chaos does not erase intent. That whatever heartbreak existed inside that home, Kadia made choices. She picked up a gun. She pulled the trigger. And she chose to broadcast it live, turning a private argument into a public tragedy. The motive, they said, was not madness, it was anger. A decision born not of fear but of control. After months of hearings and procedural delays, the case finally reached its breaking point. The evidence was overwhelming. The Facebook Live footage alone had stripped away any defense she might have had. Public outrage grew by the day. The nation had seen the crime unfold in real time, and there was no escaping the truth of what happened. Eventually, Kadia Brown pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, a deal that removed the possibility of a life sentence but guaranteed decades behind bars. When the judge read the sentence, 40 years in prison with no possibility of parole for the first 25, the courtroom fell silent. Even the air seemed heavy with finality. Kadia didn't cry. She didn't speak. She simply nodded, as if she'd already rehearsed this moment in her mind, as if she knew that this was the only ending her choices could ever lead to. Outside the courthouse, emotions ran high. Crowds gathered, some nodding in agreement with the sentence, others shaking their heads in disbelief. Many felt justice had been served, but just as many argued 40 years wasn't nearly enough. Not after the world had witnessed a father's final moments live, and not when his children had been in the next room. What everyone could agree on was this: the case left wounds that went far beyond one family. It became a painful reminder of how easily love can turn to rage, and how quickly private pain can become public spectacle in the age of social media. There was a history of domestic violence between Brown and the victim, the county sheriff said solemnly. This was a tragic and senseless murder, and our thoughts and prayers are with the victim's family. In the days that followed, attention slowly turned back to Jeremy Brown, the quiet, kind-hearted man who had done everything to keep his family together, until the very love he tried to protect became the reason it all fell apart. His funeral was held in a small church in Columbus, Mississippi, not far from the home where he grew up. The sanctuary overflowed. Every pew was filled, people stood shoulder to shoulder along the walls, and others crowded into the lobby just to be close. There were flowers everywhere, white for peace, red for love, gold for remembrance. Framed photographs captured Jeremy's gentle smile through the years. A young boy with bright eyes, a proud father surrounded by his children, a man who never stopped giving. His casket was closed. The trauma of what had happened was too great. His family couldn't bear to see what had been done. The grief in that room was unlike anything words could hold. Mothers clutched their sons tighter. Fathers lowered their heads. Friends wept openly, struggling to understand how something so senseless could happen inside a home once filled with laughter. What haunted everyone most was how preventable it all seemed. Jeremy hadn't fought back. He hadn't raised his voice. He had done everything right, tried to walk away, to de-escalate, to protect his children. But sometimes doing the right thing still isn't enough. That morning on Facebook Live had been more than an argument. It was a warning ignored in real time, a tragedy watched as it unfolded. Now, a father was gone, a mother was in prison, and 4 children were left with memories no child should have to carry. A disagreement had turned into a death, and the world had watched it happen. And maybe that's the part that hurts the most, how easily it could have been stopped, and how no one realized it until it was too late. What do you think? Was justice served? Let us know in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.